Okay, let's see here. Well, that's not it for now.
You sure this is a good idea, dude? I mean, what about our other double? We haven't even seen him yet.
Oh, he'll be here. Hinata told me he's on his way. He got lost between dimensions.
So then why are you splitting? You know very well Ice could attack you at any time.
That's not true. Unless the villain has something against Christmas itself. Turns out most everyone becomes peaceful this time of year. So it shouldn't be that big of a problem for me when I return home for the holiday.
But what about your fans? They're expecting at least one episode this month that was actually planned for this month.
Don't worry, I got it covered. Hinata will remain here with you to protect the place while I go home for the holiday, and I'll film my Christmas special there and air on Christmas Day. Besides, it'll be nice to work on it without the pressures of college again, like when I started in the summer.
Well, alright. I hope you know what you're doing.
I'll be fine. Hinata, work me back home.
Roger, Dodger.
Oh, konnichiwa, minasan. Ora keigeiru suruba. But you kind of already get the idea. Now, you might be wondering where the heck I am at the moment, and what the heck is going on? Well, heads up, I'm taking care of my little bro at the moment. It's a weekend when my parents are out of town for the moment, so I have to keep my eye on him. But regardless, it's a very special occasion for the fanfiction library. Why? Well, it's Christmas! Roll that title card! Yes, you heard it here, folks. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And today we're going to be looking at a very special fanfic today. Ah, yes, Christmas. There's nothing like this time of year where it starts to get cold, some places it snows, and families get together for the holidays to open presents and spend time with those you love as the year comes to a close. Of course, with Christmas being the big special time of the year that it is, there is every special and story under the sun to represent the occasion. From Rudolph and Frosty to Santa Claus and Elf. Yeah, I said Elf. Not as in the animated version or the musical. Oh no. I'm talking about the version with Will Ferrell. I watch it every year with my folks. Now that's some holiday family entertainment. So, with others busy left and right with their stories, what does that leave with us in the realm of fanfiction? Well, we managed to get Christmas specials posted before the big day on fanfiction time and time again. And in 2012, there's one author who managed to get up a very cool yet accurate adaptation for another classic. Probably even longer than many of the specials we've seen today. And Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And like many books, it's been turned into a cash cow of adaptations. Some good, some not so much. Specifically, this adaptation, and by the author, Thomas Holmes II, is a rewriting of something he had previously written, apparently, and is a multi-crossover story, though it's labeled under Sonic and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, yet another popular Christmas special. Basically, to explain in the two Christmas specials briefly, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is about a big green guy with a small heart who thinks he can get rid of Christmas by removing all material things related to the holiday just so he can get some quiet and the fact he hates the holiday, only to find out Christmas isn't about the material things, but rather what comes from the heart. And like the Dr. Seuss story, A Christmas Carol has a similar tale about a grouch who hates Christmas. Although, the reasons of Ebenezer Scrooge, the main character of A Christmas Carol, are more justified than the Grinch's, thinking he's the only honest man in the world during that time with his signature phrase, "Bah! Humbug!" Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. Humbug is essentially declaring something dishonest, which makes many lines make more sense than you'd expect at first. Anyways, A Christmas Carol follows Scrooge in his wicked ways as he learns with help from the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future about what Christmas truly means, and where his life would end up if he continues down the path he'd taken. Of course, with the adaptation thing, it's expected Disney would take advantage of such a timeless story, not once, not twice, but 3 times! I know, right? It's like they couldn't keep one time listen up and had to go through many variations. To be fair, each version has its own ups and downs, with the first involving Mickey Mouse being most family-friendly and comedic, the second, which had Jim Henson's The Muppets Involved, being a musical which many believe to be the best version, and the most recent having Jim Carrey as the voice of Scrooge in 2009, having the most dark material in it, thus getting the eerie vibe of the ghost story down for its bottom. And wouldn't you know it, 2 out of those 3 are the basis for this adaptation by TH2. Yes, he took the Muppets version and the Jim Carrey version of the story and combined them into one, using most of the cast of Sonic the Hedgehog, the Grinch as Scrooge, very appropriate, and even some Looney Tunes characters as the main stars. Oh yeah, there's no hiding that. But since all the characters refer to each other by their roles, the author placed the cast list in the very first chapter for those dumb enough to not notice. Still, out of 7 chapters, it's overall very well written, and an alright translation, and blending of the 2 versions. Not to mention, this thing has 19,311 words, 2 faves, and 3 followers. But it does have 7 reviews, most of them written by yours truly. But regardless, it was a great read for the time. But does it hold up now that I have a critical mindset going into it? Well, let's find out with hits and misses. Cameos of other games and franchises aside from Sonic and the Grinch. Now, as I said, while the cast of the story is mainly Sonic, the Grinch, Dr. Seuss, and Looney Tunes, it does have cameos of other characters from other franchises like Legend of Zelda, Crash Bandicoot, Mario, and quite a few others too. Those with a critical eye to the cast and the story will be able to spot all these characters. See if you can find them all. The admittedly dark aspects taken from the 2009 Jim Carrey version. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I personally think the 2009 version is the best, if only for how it stays true to the original book. But it does mean that the story and this fanfic overall are much darker and creepier as a result. So I can't see why this would be a bad thing, as it might scare away the weak-hearted, if you get what I mean. And as much as I don't want it to be, I'm not too keen on darker aspects myself, so I'm gonna label this as a miss. The fact that this is a retelling of an adaptation. Now, you've heard me talk about this time and time again. I've said this multiple times, Retellings can be good or bad depending on your situation. We've seen how it could be bad, like in Toon Powered Up, where it just feels like it's lazy work, and we can see how it can be good, like in The Interference, where it's taken in a very new light. Here, though, the story is already so timeless, combining the two adaptations already and retelling it that way is actually pretty darn good. I feel it still carries the feel of both movies, and you can still get a very good vibe from it. Although, personally, I'm not too keen about this story being interrupted by songs, which you have to read the lyrics to instead of listening to. I mean, this is not a medium where you have audio to help you out here like you do with videos. The fanfiction medium is all written. So if you're going to add any lyrics, you gotta figure out how to make a good song and a good jingle of some kind to help back up the lyrics that you can sing along to. That and all the various inconsistencies that I might get a little nitpicky about, like say the two Marleys from the Muppets version carried over into this version, which are portrayed by Manic, and the fan character Ashura the Hedgehog, which is actually just a glitch from one of the original games. And not to mention how the Ghost of Christmas Past is portrayed. We don't necessarily know if that ghost is meant to be a guy or a girl, so we can't honestly tell. And I guess I personally would think that all the ghosts were male, not being sexist, but just saying that I'd imagine that would be the situation if Dickens were to actually write the thing. I haven't read the book entirely, but I do remember key points of it. Point is, there are parts that I can find nitpicky, but overall it's decent. Okay, so for the final analysis. You know, it's a Christmas story. It's timeless as it is. Plus, the year's gonna end. I'd rather end this on a high note than a bad note. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give this story a B-. It's decent at the best. I mean, no, not decent at the best. It's decent at the worst, I'll admit. But, I mean, some people may find it even more annoying because it's just retelling or something like that. But I can honestly tell you guys, this fanfic is definitely one of the better ones that I've seen. And in terms of retelling, it's a much better story to retell over and over again.